What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Concrete Edge right here on Deco-Crete TV. On-site edition today, and this is part of our Concrete 101 series. And so today's topic is going to be how to pour a very basic exterior broom finish concrete slab. So stay tuned and you're going to learn all about it. So this is the area for today's project, and we got here this morning and we got this thing all dug out and we got it all formed up and all the prep work done. And if you guys haven't seen our video on the prep work part of this, we have a full episode on that, so make sure you check that out before this part. And also we have a full video on all the tools that we're going to need for this, and again we'll leave some links down in the description so you guys can watch those videos as well if you haven't seen them already. So once we get to this point and the truck shows up, the first thing we're going to do, and in today's case this is really nice because we can get the truck right to this area. The chute's going to be able to reach anything, so we don't need any additional help on that part. If this wasn't the case, you might need a wheelbarrow at the very basic level, or even better yet, a concrete buggy or a pump might be required for your job. But once that truck gets here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have him back up. We're going to put his chutes on, and get everything ready to go there. But then we're going to just have him run a little bit of concrete down the chute just to see what it looks like, because this part is important. Pouring the concrete at a proper slump is very, very key for long-term success. Obviously, the more water you put into it, the more it's going to flow, but adding more water to the concrete does hurt the strength. So there is a sweet spot, and that's usually around a 5.5 to 6-inch slump. So now that we got the slump the way we want it, we're basically just gonna go through and we're gonna let the concrete basically just plop out of the chute. Now, again, today's job's easy because it's a small area and we can really get to it, but ideally we would have one guy running the chute for us. That way he's spreading it around and getting it as close as he can before we even have to start working with any tools. This type of truck is what is known as a rear end discharge, and that means they back up to the slab. The concrete comes out of the rear end of the truck. Now, there could also be a front end discharge truck. In that case, they would pull into the slab, and on the front end discharge, those are kind of nice because the driver actually can control the chute from the slab, and it kind of almost eliminates the chute guy that you see here. But in today's case, or around here, this is mostly what we have is rear discharge. So now that we got the concrete kind of out on the ground and kind of where we want it to be, now we're going to use our rakes and we're going to sort of get it a little bit closer. And again, we're never going to get it perfect with a rake, but we're just trying to get it in place as close as we can, and we're going to basically try to leave it maybe just the tiniest bit high. We got it all sort of roughed in with the rakes. Now we're going to start pulling the screed board across it, and you can see here that the screed board is what's going to get it down and on plane and then get this slab working properly. And even though we use those rakes to sort of get the concrete into place, we're always going to have a raker behind the screed. That way he's kind of pulling the excess back. So now that it's all screeded out, we're just going to run our float tools over it, and we're going to do the bulk of the work just with this bull float here. And you can see we got this thing on a handle. We can stand at the edge of the slab. We really don't, at this point, we're not going to be walking in the concrete anymore. That part is all done. So we're going to just let that bull float do its thing, and then as soon as we're make a couple passes with that, then somebody can start working in the edges with their hand float or their mag, and that's just kind of floating in the edges, getting it where it needs to be. And then, as the concrete sits here for a little bit and sets up just a little bit, we'll go ahead and run our edger tool along the forms as well as the existing concrete, or basically whatever we're pouring up against, and that's just going to round that edge over, make so it's not as sharp, make it look good for us. And then after that edger, after you run the edger through there, just make sure you take your hand float back over it and wipe out that line. We don't want to leave that sharp line, even though we want to see that line when we're edging, because that means that we got that edger nice and flat. We want to wipe that out, or it's going to be hard to get rid of later. Well, you guys are going to get a little bit of a bonus today because this slab is actually going to get a little building structure on the back side here. So it's going to need some anchor bolts. Well, all we need to do is just get our bolts. And generally they come in a box of 50, and you can see they come with washers and the nut part, but this part here has to get pushed down into the concrete and wet set in there so that the carpenter can put their building material on top of that and anchor to the slab. Now this needs to be done pretty quick in order to get these things all the way down where we need to be and to get them kind of worked into place. We want to do this pretty fast. And so what we're going to do is just give it one little bit of an edge here and kind of finish that, because once we push these in, it's going to be kind of hard to work around them. It's not going to look that great, but after the building is set, we're not going to see that edge anyways. So snap the line, put in our bolts. So after we did that whole first pass and everything looked good, you know, we just need to let the concrete sit for a little bit and just gain a little bit of body. And once it gets to about this point right here, we're gonna go ahead and float it a second time. And this is basically to kind of get rid of all those lines we made from the first float, but it's also to rework that surface, kind of make it just a little bit smoother. And in this case, or most cases, a second time bowl float is all we really need. And so we're just gonna keep floating this and working it around and just till we get all those lines out and everything looking really, really nice. And then you can go ahead and run our edger back through there, touch everything up. You kind of want to find that sweet spot of it's ready to second time float. We can get it all looking nice. And then we really want to pull that broom across it, ideally within maybe 15 minutes of this second time float, while that cream on the surface is still nice and pliable for us. And that's what's going to allow us to get that really, really nice broom mark. So we are about ready to pull the broom across the surface, but what we don't want to do is pull it across with the broom completely dry. We need a little bit of moisture on there just to kind of give it a little bit of lubrication so it doesn't want to tear the concrete. So it's fine to use water for this, but we just want to make sure we don't want this thing sopping wet. We don't want a bunch of water running across the surface. We just want to dampen it. So a hose works fine, or this is also why we keep some water in a wheelbarrow. We can just dip it in, make sure it's all good and saturated. And then we'll just give it a couple shakes off. And then we can also just run our hands over it. So now it's nice and lubricated, but we're not worried about any excess water running out on there and weakening our surface. The next thing would be, you know, the angle of this broom. So when we're pulling it back, we don't want this thing to be straight up in the air because that's just gonna put too much pressure straight down. If we let it, if we lay it out a little bit and shallow the angle, it's just gonna give us a nicer finish. Now, again, everything's gonna be different every time. This slab here, I literally could just reach out and then set the broom on and pull it back. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do here. That way I don't have to worry about this angle, but slabs that are a little bit lighter, or if you're a little bit farther along and you need to scrub at it a little bit, it does work to push the broom out and then maybe have somebody on the other side, set it back down, pull it back. We always wanna finish towards us, but if you have to push it out and pull it back to get it to look right, that's okay. My biggest piece of advice is just to be consistent with that. In other words, if you start by pushing it out and pulling it back, do it the whole way so it all looks the same. Now we're gonna have to work around these anchor bolts a little bit, and we'll just end up using a little touch-up brush in the end to sort of fill the rest in. The other thing is try to make this as straight as possible. If you got broom lines that are all wiggly, it's not gonna look very nice, so I'm just gonna use this sidewalk over here kind of as my square to get started, and I'm gonna pull width back, and then I'm gonna overlap it a few inches and then just keep going across the whole way. Well, there you go, guys. This slab is all poured and finished, and it's just time for some cleanup now. We're gonna go ahead and pull our forms, or pull all our stakes, pull all our forms off, get the job site cleaned up, and then before we leave today, we'll spray a little bit of cure and seal on here just to keep the moisture retained in there while the concrete's curing out. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions on this, please just leave them right down in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys, not only questions, but some of your tips and some things you may have learned on concrete job sites like this. So from all of us here at Deco-Crete TV, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.